Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Pastor Jeremy here to share a morning devotional with you. I hope you're having a great morning so far. Um, if you know me, or if we've spoken, or if you can simply read my shirt, you know that I attended the great Bethune-Cookman University for undergrad. Now, when you went to the cafeteria at Cookman, if you were there for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, when the doors opened, there was this prayer you had to recite that we recited as a whole student body. And it went, Christ is the head of this house, the silent listener to every conversation, the silent guest at every meal. And honestly, those words were a little creepy for a lot of people to say, And I think that to a degree, that's kind of part of the intention behind the way they were written. I think that those words were written to remind the young, boisterous college students that they should conduct themselves, especially in that place there, as folks who are in the presence of Christ, right? When I think about that prayer and I think about other places and ways we pray, I think that sometimes prayer can become very mundane for us. I think about being back in the cafe at Cookman, and it's just, after a while, it's just something we said. It's not something we thought about. It's not something we took very seriously. It's just something we said that rolled off the tip of our tongue. And I think that, we can get in that same space with the Lord's Prayer, where we're not thinking about the words we're saying, we're just praying it, right? And when I think about what prayer actually is, when I think about it as literally a conversation with the creator of the universe, it should be anything but mundane, right? Don't you agree? And so I wonder, what about the way we pray? What about when we pray? What about the prayers we pray can cause us to fall into that mundane space? And what can we do to add some wonder, to add some faithfulness, to add some invigoration into our prayers and our prayer lives? But thinking about that prayer in particular that I mentioned, it was grace. It was a prayer that was supposed to introduce us to of time of being together with one another and sharing food. And I think about normal times when somebody prays. A lot of people pray when they wake up. A lot of people pray when they go to sleep, and anywhere in between. But I wonder if one way to do that might be to change up that routine a little bit. And so in that spirit, I want to share with you, instead of a grace to pray before your meal, a grace to say after your meal. We end this meal with grace for the joy and nourishment of food, the slow time away from the world to come into presence with each other, and sense the subtle lives behind our faces, the different colors of our voices, the edges of hunger we keep private, the circle of love that unites us. We pray the wise spirit who keeps us to change the structures that make others hungry, and that after such grace, we might now go forth and impart dignity wherever we partake. I think that the intention behind this particular prayer, this particular grace for after a meal, wants to reinforce and readdress a person's connection with themselves as they experience food and experience fellowship, their connection with other people and actually seeing them and being with them, and their connection with folks who are beyond the four walls of wherever they are sharing a meal, folks who aren't blessed to be able to have food at the time, folks who maybe are even experiencing homelessness and are wanting to be transformed through both the meal together and the prayer to be able to carry dignity to all people. This prayer doesn't strike me as mundane. And I think that if we approach prayer with the wonder maybe of children, if we approach prayer as the conversation it is, if it invigorates us towards a depth of relationship that transparency and intention only bring. I love you all, and I hope you all have a great day.